Hey there guys, it's Kage Attack coming at you for another one of our comparison videos, our free-to-play versus pay-to-play comparison for Lucien. This one is going to be a little bit different because, as most players may or may not know, there were some hiccups with this event. There were free boxes given out. There was compensation that needed to be added to players, a separate leaderboard created. This one was very, very different in some ways. So the question that's going to be in everybody's mind for this, and it's a good one, is did Snowprint manage to kind of put things back on track despite the hiccups? And we're going to see here today. And that's the question I want you guys to try and answer for yourselves, or even in the comments down below at the end of this video, to see if they actually did a good job rectifying that. Because I know I've only been with this community for about 9-10 months now, but I've never seen that type of snafu happen. So that was something new, and I shouldn't be excited about that sort of thing, but as somebody who likes comparing the data and looking at these things, I do love a good anomaly here and there, and this is definitely a curveball. So all right, we'll start with myself as usual. I'm not gonna lie, I put $10 in. I just did $10 for the energy for the first round. I didn't do much else. I did like my 250 refreshes for every day. So I did up to 250. I got my usual missions done, and I squeaked by with epic Red Star 2 on Lucien. I was kind of like I don't know if I would have done better or worse if that whole error thing didn't happen. I'm going to have to go back and actually look myself to see if I can answer that question, because for $10 it's not a bad deal, and I definitely know I needed to spend that 10 to get there and to actually get it this time. So I would have been, I have 462 of the currency here. If I didn't buy that bundle, I think I would have been short by like 50. So in that regard, I pulled off something that is hard to do with these events, and it's spending the correct amount of money to either get your upgrade or get what you want. And that is what we're going to review here today. And I'm very excited because I actually got some data from another high ranker. So I usually get one or two, and sometimes they want to be anonymous. This person is okay with showing their name and everything on here. So I'm super excited to let's do a deep dive into somebody who really pushed to get up there. Because you guys know me, I never get to legendary. I think I tried really hard once with Tangita, and even then I think I ended at red 3-star, and that was like one of my first HREs, and I was just throwing everything at it except preparation, which for Lucien, sadly, I did not have energy preparation at all. I was focused on survival and beefing up a couple of units to try and help with that. So Snowprint has done well to try and discourage energy hoarding in a different way. Because again, if you don't have certain units for a specific event beefed up, and you have a chance to beef them up, but you're hoarding all this energy to try and rank up for this HRE, you're effectively hurting yourself. So it's a smart way to do it. It's not going to work on everybody, mind you, because some people are already going to have the units ready, or they just don't have any interest in said event. But alright, moving on. Let's go ahead here and take a look and see here. So this is Hyojin on the Discord. And let's see. So they actually got to a point where they got the so close offer for legendary 3-stars here. It was 1,400 Blackstones. They finished out here. They actually got Lucien to legendary. So the question being, for somebody who actually got this unit to legendary, they spent 1,400 Blackstones. They were top 50 overall. What did they end up having to put in to get all this, is the question here. Because again, this is not an easy feat to do. People ask this all the time. How do you do this? So they actually gave me a pretty detailed run of what they did here. They did the 2x energy packs for $10, so that's $20. They did 4 of the $20 offers there, so that's 80. So now we're up to 100. They did $65 for Rogue Trader energy packs, daily offers with energy, 2,600 Blackstone packs, and 1,250 Blackstone packs. So they said $65 for all that. So we're at $165 right now. They even added the $6 for the monthly Blackstone pass, so $171. So they put in $171 for various offers, some related to the event, some not, to get enough energy to push into that ranking. They only had said stockpiled energy of 200. Energy refreshes for the first 2 days up to 1,000 refreshes following days, 500 Blackstones refreshes last day, 100 Blackstone refreshes. They beat me out of the water on this. Oof, pound for pound. And then they mentioned oh so close for 1,400 Blackstones. So total Blackstone spent 17.5k, almost 17,490. But so realistically, I mean, if we had to put a quantifiable price on 17k Blackstones, what would that be? Let's take a look here. I'm curious. So that would be 100 for 14k. So I mean, technically, let's say they did have at least some free Blackstones. So, and they went the most economical route to get what they needed. So like 120. So realistically, they needed about $120 in Blackstones, and they put in 171 in offers. So it took them almost $300 to do that. That is interesting. I've never had somebody give me like a complete analysis like that in terms of the spend, the breakdown, the actual money needed. So if anybody who wasn't hoarding energy and just kind of wanted to just go pound for pound for it, I think you are looking at a $200 to $300 spend overall. I mean, putting Blackstones into account. Now, could some of those Blackstones have been free or accumulated, or technically have been part of the packs that were already paid for, like the what's it called, the 4 $20 packs? Yes. So that price obviously is going to go down a bit if we subtract just the overall cost of the Blackstones, because they already paid for those, so we wouldn't double dip in that regard. But I still think, even with that considered, you're looking at $100 to $200 for getting a legendary unit, and that is interesting. That is, because I mean, again, legendary is the highest tier. And I've played games where trying to get, let's say, the highest tier unit, where the highest version is like 5 or 6 copies of that unit to get that done. And in those games, those are gotchas. I used to play them. And I can tell you right here, I don't think I've ever gotten away with spending $200 to do that. And it wasn't a guarantee either. If they, let's say they follow, somebody else was to follow a similar blueprint, could they replicate these results here? And for the most part, I would say yes, outside of potentially the leaderboard being a little wonky and the oh so close offer being potentially a little bit more or a little bit less, somebody could replicate these results here. So for that, I will give them credit. Now, is that, again, a lot of money for some people? I mean, there's some people here who claim that spending $10 on this game is whale territory, which, oh, sweet, sweet child. Oh boy. But that is a separate debate for another day. But this gives you guys some idea, because I have a couple more people to go through here, but I want a special thanks to Hyojin for doing this and giving me like a complete analysis and breakdown. I am very happy to see this, to give people like an actual, maybe not 100% solid number, but an idea what it would go through if you weren't really hoarding energy and you were going to try and just gut punch it to get the unit. So I will say this for Snowprint, given what I've seen here now and how everything is, I mean, if somebody really plays hard, utilizes the offers, and goes crazy with refreshes, they can get the unit to legendary. But I mean, I would not recommend the average player go this route. I mean, just I would probably recommend a combination of doing some offers, having some preparation involved, if it makes sense, because again, they're getting better at having certain events going in the background that, I mean, if let's face it, if you miss some of those survival boxes, they were good. They were good rewards. Yeah, no. But all right, let's move on to the next person here. This one was very insightful. I enjoyed that one. Let's see what we got here. So Mike says didn't buy the premium missions, just did usual stamina refreshes. Missions were done early. Eventually did the 21, even though it seemed like a waste of time. And how did he do here? So he didn't really put anything in, and he got to Epic 1. So he basically got one step below. He was 4K. I mean, he was only double my ranking, essentially, from just playing. And he just did his standard stuff. So somebody not throwing in anything at all, just kind of doing the standard event here. I mean, they even have a decent stockpile of stones ready to go. I like this. I like the fact that you can, somebody like who's established in this game can still get epic. Now the question though is, would he have gotten epic if the whole snafu thing didn't happen? I'm curious, because I think I have a couple other free to plays here, so we'll see. But we'll remember this. So he got to Epic 1 about halfway. Let's see who else we have here. Okay, we have our friend Julio. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Okay, so Julio says, kind of proved it's near impossible to get a legendary unlock by just spending Blackstones. Spent 13.250 Blackstones and only refreshes up to 500 in 2 occasions, 1,000 Blackstone refreshes. This includes the stacking energy refreshes, 2 per day. And they got, where did they end? They ended here. They ended at 92 before legendary with what they were doing. And then he goes on to say, I was top 150 to 100 week 1, got top 100 leader chest week 1. Week 2, I dabbled between 100 to 50. My second ladder chest was top 75 with around 55k event points. I was short way more than Blackstone pack, 600 marks for a legendary unlock. The only way I could have gotten legendary unlock was buying the week 1 mark packs plus 1 or 2 Blackstone packs. So given what we know now from Hyojin, yeah, no, you have to, if you don't have a substantial amount of energy saved up, and even then, there is diminishing returns with some of these other packs, because they get to a point where you're not really, I mean, it goes from like 4K to an astronomical amount to get the next unlock pack. If you really want this legendary unit, you've got to do a ton of refreshes, buy every pack, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, they had pushed. They were only a little bit, under Hyojin in terms of ranking by like four places, but because they didn't commit to the other packs, it definitely they weren't even close to getting a so close offer to finish that off. They would have needed, another 2 boxes to be able to even push that. Because that was he's on a box 24, so he's on the next box. So that would have been. So that next box would have been 37 to 38, and then the one after that would have been 38 to 39. Yeah, he would have needed both those boxes to push that for him. So no, he is right. It is not an easy feat, and again, you've got to fully commit to getting that. Alright, let's move it on to Ouchkables. Got the second star with the final chest. Spent 50 to 110 Blackstone refreshes each day and completed all the quests, but otherwise didn't do anything else special. So he got to the same point as me, and he didn't do any of the offers at all. He did less refreshes than me, because I was doing 250. So he was able to squeak by with in the same position as myself, and he ended up with just having 46 tokens left over as opposed to my 462. So I feel like he beat me pretty good on that one. I mean, he even placed higher too. He's at what, 2574? He almost placed as high as me in terms of energy spend. So I wonder if he had some extra energy saved up for the event. And if you did, Ouchkables, let me know. I'm curious because, again, I came into the event, I had nothing saved. But just from over here, seeing that he did basically, one refresh less than me every day, he was still able to get that 2-star upgrade with red, and he didn't buy the $10 pack, so he beat me pretty good at that one. I waved the white flag there. Alright, let's go on to the next one here. Let's see what we got. Pure Shrew. Free to play, and bought the 110 Blackstone every day. It did max out the TA, so that a bunch of free energy too. See that? I forgot about that. I didn't do TA. I skipped that energy. So, I mean, I bet Ouchkables probably did that too. I'm lazy in that regard. Let's see. Okay, so he bought out the energy. I did a max out TA, so it was a bunch of free energy. I still have 100 energy banked in my inbox because I was nowhere close to the next create milestone. So wait, Pure, as well, for yourself, did you have a bunch of energy stockpiled up given that? Because you ended up being, rank 578 here. So, like, my question to you is, how much energy did you have to start with this? Because, again, you're like 1,500 places ahead of me. I'm curious to know what you stockpiled here. Oh, hold on a second. 1365 energy with 250 banked in inbox. Okay, so you had a decent amount of energy accumulated going into this, and that preparation, I mean, he got to, again, he's somebody else who got to the same place as me in terms of placement, pushed a little bit higher, got a little bit more, and he said he even had more energy, ready to go if he needed to push a little bit more, but it just didn't make sense. If he could have got to that next box, I mean, he would have gotten red 3-star from just doing that. So there's definitely a kind of like a soft threshold I think you can do if you plan accordingly. And I think that soft threshold is like Epic 2, Epic 3, without having to do much, without having to really spend or do too many refreshes. And then after that, you are looking to definitely have to throw down some money, do some mental gymnastics to unlock the highest rarity of said new character, which again makes sense. I mean, the little bit I've used of Lucien in just like Guild Wars, I like this unit. I like him. He's helped me win a battle or two. He's not bad. I'm gonna keep upgrading him a bit. I mean, I got him to bronze for just doing some lower tier Guild War fights, but I will definitely beef him up more at some point. I find his mechanics to be quite different to some extent, but he's not a bad unit. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people who put some time, energy, and effort into him, it's a solid win. So, thank you, Pure. Let's go ahead here and see what Osama has. Osama says, yo, absolute free to play, only 50 to 110 Blackstone refreshes every day, and was always finishing 2020 missions. Expletive that I am just 16 shards short from Epic 1, but oh well, it was a good character though, so worth the Blackstone refreshes, I think. I mean, so, Osama, when you do watch this, how much was your oh so close offer for this unit? Because you were, what? You said 16 off? Yeah, 54 of 70. I'm curious to know how much you needed to actually get that, because I see here you have 2780 left, and I mean, I don't think it would be the worst decision in the world if, let's say, it was like, I don't know, maybe like 700 or 800 to do it to get the unlock. But if it was like 14 or 1500 or something, since you're free to play, I'd probably pass on that. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure other people will weigh in on that. But and then he got to 10k, so he was position 10k. Yeah, he was off on that last chest by 80 something tokens. I'm not sure how close he would have been to actually get that last round if he had just hit an X mile marker, but he definitely would have unlocked Epic as a free-to-play doing that. But alright, let's move on here. And I thought you were going to have some cool meme or some trickery here or some crazy thing for me to say on air, but you didn't. Mildly disappointed, Osama. Mildly disappointed. Alright, moving on to Sanjay. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Oh, that's starting energy daily reward, 30 energy. So starting energy, they had 418 for the event. Okay. Oh, and even gave me a screenshot of that. Oh, they documented it. That's cool. Let's see. Yeah, 418. What else we got here? They showed their first week chest. So they were at 24k points, position 500 first week. Definitely higher than me. Okay, cool. And they were doing 50 to 110 refreshes every day, and they actually go on to say they were doing to play these 7 levels for 27 points each. 5 of them. Oh, this dude was min-maxing. He's like, I was doing these levels and using certain characters and getting 27 points per. I'm lazy over here. I will just hit my raid tokens and move on with my life. Is that a good or bad strategy? For my mental health, it's probably a good strategy because I'm lazy in that regard. You got anybody who knows me, I try and get things done quickly, efficiently, and move on because I'm doing other stuff. I'm juggling plates. I've got other stuff to do. So, but if you do take some more time, that is something to consider. If you do put additional time in, you can somewhat shift your results in your favor, and they definitely did this with what they're saying here. And then their final chest, they ended at 41k, 800 and something. And where did they land? So they landed a little bit ahead of me in terms of everything, and they didn't spend any money, and they only did 50 to 110 refreshes. So with their additional prep work and everything they were doing, yeah, no, they did pretty good. I mean, again, with their additional prep work and everything, they didn't spend any money, and they did lesser refreshes than myself, and they got to my area, and they almost had as many tokens as me. They were only like off by what, 200? That's impressive. That is very impressive. So hats off to you on that one. That is a win. Moving on to Zeta. Let's see. Zeta Corp says Dolphin playing and almost get legendary. So Zeta was up there. I mean, oh wow, 76 to 100. Zeta, I love you to death, Zeta. You're guilty, but how did you get here? I need you to show your. This is math class, Zeta. I need you to show your work, because all I got is Dolphin playing and almost get legendary. I love you to death, but I need to know more. What refreshes did you do? What packs did you buy? I'm over here like, I'm only gonna have to give you half credit for your answer. I don't know how you got this answer. Oh, God bless you guys. Let's move on to Seth. And again, a lot of times, this is like the first time I'm looking at this. I take your submissions, and literally you're just getting, for the most part, unless I like talk to you in advance, my kind of like raw reaction here. So when it's like, oh, Dolphin playing this, like, oh, okay. All right, here's Seth. Well, here we are, Epic 1, and this time free to play. Oh. That's unlike Seth at all. Was on vacation first week and barely had any interest, so I felt like the packs weren't really worth it. And indeed, I didn't need them to make it to Epic. Which, that's a fair counterpoint. If you're not, I mean, if for whatever reason, I mean, I know he was doing a cruise, he was busy, he had some IRL stuff, and he wasn't really able to play and engage with the event much. And he was still able to get, you know, Epic with the unit, which is pretty good. And again, sometimes, I mean, if some advice I would give you guys is, if you know you can't play a lot that week, or you know you're not really going to engage in the event, I would wait to get some of these packs, except the energy. The energy packs, if you know you're going to spend, grab those energy packs right away. It does hurt you if you wait to grab them later in the week. You miss out on energy. It doesn't help you. But let's say for whatever reason you need one of those $20 packs to push yourself over. You can wait towards the end of the week to get that, to see where you are. There's no rush in that regard. And I've done that for one or two events before, where it's like, okay, well, let me wait to see if I need this. And a lot of times I didn't. So I saved a little bit of money in that regard. So I understand that sentiment completely. And then he says, if I average it out, I was probably somewhere between the 50 and 110 refreshes on week 1, but I did the 250 on week 2 to catch up. And they didn't do TA at all. So they're like me. They didn't do any sort of TA, and they had to refresh more on the second week because of the lack of play for week 1. Oh, let's see here. This is Kame. Got the first week offer with the extra 10 points, so they spent $10, and they mentioned the bug at the beginning. So they only put $10 in, and they ended at, let's see here. I always like these little characters, the Metal Slugs, the Dragon Ball stuff. It's interesting. Where'd they end at? So they ended here. So they ended a little bit away. Wait, no. This one's more recent than the other one. Yeah. Huh, that's weird. That's weird. The most recent image is less. That is super weird. Discord must have messed up. So, yeah, no. Okay, so they ended here. They ended at Epic 2, which is where I ended up with doing the $10 offer, and they placed pretty similar to myself. So I'd say they were doing about, the 110 refreshes, maybe some 250s to get there as well. And they even had a little more tokens than me left over, so okay. That's respectable. That's not bad at all. And then was there any... yes. So I do have one more surprise submission, and I am super glad that because I am recording this video pretty late for you guys. I had, I got my workout done last night. I hung out with the boys at the ramen bar, and we were there for hours, to the point where the bakery next door had opened up, and then we went over there, grabbed some baked goods, and I just went home and crashed. I slept. So I am recording this a lot later than usual, and I am glad to, because I got somebody here who wanted to show off their progress. They got legendary, and let's see what they say. So this is our buddy, the Corpse Emperor. I know he's on TikTok. If you do watch his stuff or you don't, look into him, support his channel, help him out. He's a good guy. I know he's definitely watched our stuff before, and I've seen his comments. And if I was somebody who would use TikTok, I'd definitely watch him. I don't know. I'm in that weird pocket where I only realistically do like YouTube and Facebook for a local pizza place. That's about it. That's the extent of my social media these days. It's like, I have Twitter, but I don't know. I just have to put a raincoat on when I go to Twitter. And let's see here. He says, howdy, hope it's not too late for your video, but I started the event with 4,050 energy. Okay. Bought the daily energy bundles for both weeks and all 4 Blackstone bundles. Spent up to 1,000 Blackstone a day in energy, and timed my level up to 61 during the event to receive an extra 147 energy. TA helped, but never improved my ranking on the leaderboard. Oh, and they even... Oh, they have a little video. So they got that 44, and that pushed them close. Oh, and then they had the other box. So I think this is like the first or second time somebody's given me a video. Not this is different. I like this. I hope we're not stealing your content, Corpse Emperor. Please don't copyright strike me. So we got him to legendary. He's already beefed him up 35 to 35. He's serious. He's ready to go. Look at those stats. Oh yeah. So that is super cool. Let's see here. Yeah, and he shows off the 4K energy. So I mean, he put a lot of prep work in, a lot of foundation down, and because he had that exorbitant amount of energy and he was willing to do all those offers, he was able to get his unit to legendary. So a lot of prep work involved there. Super amount of prep work involved. So I mean, there are some paths to go where you could definitely hoard a ton of energy and go that route. I mean, that is interesting. So he was ranked what, 23 overall. So he was a little bit higher than Hyujin, and he got, yeah, it's crazy. So I've actually I've learned a lot today, and I'm excited because I've gotten a couple of legendary entries and a couple people who got, well, one person who got close to legendary, and this is good data for me. This is good to see the system. I know at some point maybe the system will change somewhat. Just maybe they'll try something else out or some other different ways to do character unlocks. Because anybody who hoards energy definitely has a little bit of a leg up, or potentially a lot of a leg up, and they can literally change their destiny or the amount of total payout they need to do to get said unit. Now, keep in mind though, that may hurt them in other areas in terms of other events and other things that need to be upgraded. But if they are really adamant about a said unit, they really want that unit, a lot of times with these newer units, they work well with a bunch of different characters, and they've been pretty rewarding. Again, I started around the Tangita era, and I do not regret going hard on Tangita or Rio. I mean, those units have been staples in my arena team, my Guild Wars team. They've helped me grow. I feel like they've helped me push my account a lot higher than it would be if I didn't have them. And so it's hard to say if these choices are right or wrong in the long term, because we don't know the direction the game will take. But it's safe to say having a solid newer character in your roster at legendary or epic ready to go isn't always a bad thing, because there's multiple uses for them. So with that being said, let me know how you guys did. Let me, again, if anybody else ever does want to submit, I'm willing to, sit down, parse the data for whatever you have, make sense of stuff. If you don't give me the data, I don't mind. I like doing this. I have fun with this. As an old, MMO player who used to have to look at DPS charts and other things to figure out how to kind of defeat raid bosses and stuff, this is fun for me to some extent. I enjoy this. So I will catch you on the next one, guys. I'm not sure which event's coming up soon, but we'll have another one where we'll do some more comparisons. And again, anybody who does want to submit, I will make sure that everyone who does submit to me for this event, for any of these, is always posted on air. That's my promise to you guys. No matter how long the video takes, that's my commitment. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.